He is right up there with Mark Twain and Stephen Foster. He was the guy responsible for making country music cool to the pop music world. That's Chris Christopherson, regarded as one of the best songwriters ever, talking about Roger Miller, the man who saved country music with his 102 seconds of genius.
If you had a choice, and I suppose it's like all talented people, would you prefer to be a humorist, a songwriter, a recording artist?
Well, I just want to be an entertainer, I don't know.
He could get away with rhyming the word purple with serple, and a homage to teenage drinking. Dismissed as just a comic writer early on, it took the world some time to see his real genius.
Do you consider yourself a successful singer? I don't know. What is success? What is it?
The 50s weren't the best of times for music in Nashville. Country music's biggest star back then, Hank Williams, passed away in 1953, leaving behind a big vacuum that was sucking the life out of country music. The new crop of stars, Cash, Willie, and Waylon were still finding their way around Nashville, but it wasn't until the 60s that they started gaining popularity. Add to that the fact that there were these boys from England who were all the rage in music back then. Country music was quickly becoming uncool and just couldn't keep up with rock and pop on radio. And that's where Roger Miller, with his song Dang Me, comes in, breaking into the top 10 on the Billboard Hot 100 pop chart, a first in a long time for a country song. It put country back into the popular music diet. His music found fans beyond country, and Waylon Jennings once said that Roger was lost between the rock field, the pop field, and the country field. They didn't know what category to put him in. The song changed country music forever and also changed Roger Miller's life. Miller was a genius, a wild child, the most spontaneously creative human being as per his counterparts. But behind the wordsmith was a sad man struggling with addiction, hoping for just one more high, one more hit. Miller's sadness grew from a lonely childhood. He was just a year old when his father died, unable to support the family during the Great Depression. His mother sent her 3 sons to live with his father's brothers. Miller landed up in Erick, Oklahoma, Dust Bowl town, so poor you'd have to spell poor with 5 O's. He went to school in a one-room schoolhouse and left school in 8th grade. Plowing and picking cotton, he couldn't afford a guitar growing up. So he would write songs in his mind. Desperate to write and perform his songs, he stole a guitar when he was 17. He turned himself in the next day, and to avoid jail time, joined the Army. But Army is not the best fit for someone like Roger. Bill Anderson once famously said that Miller was the most talented and least disciplined person that you could imagine. After leaving the Army, he headed back to Nashville. Broke as always, he turned up at an audition for the legendary Chet Atkins without a guitar. He borrowed Atkins' guitar but couldn't impress him, and was told to come back after working harder on the instrument. While he was honing his skills on the guitar and fiddle, his undeniable genius with words started getting noticed. He was known to write amazing lines, but then lose his train of thought and not finish a song. Other aspiring writers used to follow him around the town, trying to spark conversations, as he was known to just give away a genius song lines in a casual chat. An example of that is when Vince Gill mentioned that Roger Miller gave him the best advice ever. "Son, don't ever mix up your pills and your spare change. I did that once and swallowed 85 cents. Miller was a wildly successful songwriter before making it big as a singer and performer. He was busy penning hits for Ray Price, Ernest Tubb, Farron Young, and more before Dang Me came along. Everything about the song was unconventional and not what a traditionalist would prescribe. From quirky, silly, and deceptively intelligent lyrics like this. "High from the highest tree, woman, would you weep for me?" To the fact that he wrote the song in just 4 minutes. His wit would go on to make country music cool and relevant again, and inspire other songwriters to think outside the box and withstand the onslaught of rock and roll. Many consider Miller's King of the Road, released the following year, as his signature song. It won 5 Grammy Awards as well the next year. But Dang Me set the table for his success. And while doing that, he set an example for other songwriters that country music could take on the might of rock, if the writers decide to be fearless and break the norms. It's rare for a song to be so revolutionary that it changes the trajectory of the genre, and Dang Me did just that. It introduced a fresh approach to songwriting in country, which had grown somewhat stale and cliché at the time. Sadly, he passed away too soon at the age of 56, shortly after the discovery of a malignant tumor beneath his vocal cords. Years after his death, One can say that he doesn't get the same appreciation as before, but what he did for country music can never be forgotten. Share your thoughts on the genius of Roger Miller in comments, and please do hit the like and subscribe buttons before you go.